Little by little, I'm starting to look more homeless. Okay, I'm gonna give it a few more minutes to see how many people show up. Oh, God, I can never properly type here. Venom Shame, hello, welcome. Have I ever seen you before? Just wait, just giving it a couple of minutes. I'm just typing something up for a contract job that I'm doing. But I'm just giving it a couple more minutes for people to show up. I'm not frozen. Still don't have a... There's a part of me that wants to do a starting soon screen. And then there's another part of me that kind of wants to just leave it as is, because then people will be like, oh, he's already there. I can maybe, because I feel like something is done subconsciously when streamers have a starting soon screen. I feel like starting soon screens are really convenient for smaller YouTubers, because I still consider myself to be a smaller YouTuber, if I'm being honest. For smaller YouTubers, I feel like starting soon screens are only beneficial for the creator from a lackadaisical standpoint, where it's like, oh, I can hit live, send out the notification for people to come in, but I can still chill for like another 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even longer, and that's why I don't do it. I feel like starting soon screens are both beneficial for the creator and the viewer when you get to the levels of like Maximilian Dude, where he's got to prep a lot of things. He's got a whole rig, especially when he's doing the weekend streams where he's doing a lot of like retro game stuff, and allows people to come into the stream and not risk missing anything, any big like topics that he's going to discuss or whatever. West Michigan Collector, welcome. Yeah, I think this is my first time seeing your name. Well, in the stream. I think I've seen a couple of your comments on the videos. David, this is my first time catching one of your lives. Been a watcher of yours for a long time. Back to Black Spider David. Thank you. Jesus, it's making me feel old. That's almost... No, I mean, you're good, but it just puts into perspective the fact that I started Black Spider David in 2007. We're literally almost 20 years. 20 years. And I'm feeling it. The lower body is feeling it. The lower back, I should say. Hank V, welcome. Diminity, welcome. Congrats on 20 years. Not yet. In terms of 20 years on YouTube, I want to say it's going to be 2007. I think 2007 is the year. Saw you in the live stream last night. How about that draft? Oh, you did catch me? Yeah, I watched it. We're going to talk about it. I'm not going to put this down before it falls. We're going to talk about it. That's the first topic. I got some things to say. Sean Long and Shardamus. Yeah, I remember with her Transformer reviews, the simpler times of YouTube where everybody was trying to be a partner and it was much more difficult to be a partner and getting ad revenue. Checks would be sent out. It would actually be like a physical check. Shardamus is still going strong. In fact, I just watched. It's funny because I don't really watch his reviews. Like, I like Shardamus as a dude. I'm not the biggest fan of his content in terms of his style. I think he kind of from a completely subjective standpoint with the content. A little too much for me. It's like when something's overly sweet, like a dessert, but the sweetness is way too chaotic in the palate that I can only have like a couple of bites and then that's it. And for me, the couple of bites with Shardamus are the unboxing videos. I like watching his unboxing videos. His actual reviews is the same. Oh my god, it's the same tonality throughout the entire video, and it like I'm like I can't, dude. I can't. We need ebbs and flows. Ebbs and flows. I can't do that constant. It starts to sound like ringing to me. And I know that he's doing it for the content. Something tells me that he's not like that if I were to meet him in person. In person, I feel like he would be super chill to grab a beer with or something. You know, Divinity, speaking of that live stream, let me bring it up. Should probably load that up right now while I'm talking and while some of you guys are coming into the stream here. Where the hell did it go? Wasn't I subscribed? Yeah, there I am. I was subscribed. Mute that for now. For me, I just get annoyed when he gives the figures too much slack. You can also sense his bias sometimes. He made a video about a Spider-Man figure he recently and didn't really criticize it that much. What figure was that? Not that every figure review has to be negative, but there was definitely some flaws that he just ignored. You know, it's funny because it kind of reminds me a little bit of... Did we drop frames? No? Okay. It almost kind of reminds me a little bit of the quote-unquote controversy that was happening with Marquise Brownlee not too long ago, where he was criticizing something and then people were like, why are you being so critical? And he's like, it's a review. Like, we're really starting to reach the point where reviews can't be negative or positive. Like, they don't have to be negative across the board, but you know, you have to be fair. If something sucks, it sucks. Whoever, regardless of who made it. Are we kidding? Are we serious right now? Was hoping for them to reveal and hang it at 7%. The Flash was nice with the gold, but I don't want the Kong figure. Yeah, Johnny Shen, welcome. It's more or less with Marvel Legends of feel. You can't be too negative with those because of Venom Shame. Let's just say that after that last video that I put, and trust me, they're gonna have a field day this weekend because I'm putting the finishing touches on one. My next 2 reviews are Marvel Legends reviews. Spoilers. After that, we're hopefully jumping back into like the McFarlane or Batman related side of things. But my next 2 videos are Marvel Legends stuff. Did we drop? Did the stream drop or something? Because I noticed we dropped viewers, but I mean the chat was still going, so I don't know what happened there. It's not saying that I dropped frames. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I'm just gonna keep on going. After that last video with the Secret Wars Spidey, holy shit! I gotta be honest. If someone were to ask me, gun to my head, which community is more toxic, McFarlane Toys or Marvel Legends? Marvel Legends. Sorry, it's Marvel Legends. Not to say that there isn't toxicity over in McFarlane Toys. There is some to a degree. In fact, some of the comments in that McFarlane Toys show yesterday will prove that. But in terms of like the greater of the 2 evils, it's Marvel Legends. I post a McFarlane Toys review. Marvel Legends people come in saying McFarlane Toys is trash. I posted Marvel Legends review, even one that is skewing more towards the positive side, like that recent Secret Wars. The only thing that people take away is the discussion and the discourse around what the body was. Which even in the video I said, I could be wrong, let me know down in the comments. I believe. I kept saying words like I believe, I think. I never said ironclad, oh yeah, this is that. This is for sure that. This is undoubtedly, without any hesitation, it's this, this, and that. And people were taking it like, a lot of people starting to use buzzwords that are going around these days, like misinformation, narrative. You're spreading this narrative. I'm like, get the fuck over yourself. It's an action figure. And it was one part of the review. And then there were some comments saying that the whole review lost me my credibility as a content creator. One other comment said, delete this now. Suck me off. Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but it's without a doubt Marvel Legends. If I was to pick between those 2 communities, I'm like, yeah, Marvel Legends. There's no win. There's no win. You can't trust reviews from those mega channels anymore. Too much shilling. To me, I mean, it's funny because for a little, you say, if there's like bias and whatnot. I think where things start to, let's just put it this way. There's moments where I start to feel just a little envious, admittedly, when I see some content creators start to get like free boxes from places, boxes with product in them. And then almost immediately I'm like, yeah, but at least I know that people can at least look at my content and be like, well, I haven't gotten anything for free. And so literally right now I can tell you 2 figures I got for free. And the only reason why I got them for free was because the site wanted me to post an affiliate link. And the site themselves weren't even the creators of the figure. And that was literally 2 Fonjoy figures that are based from China. Which is the Fonjoy Pattinson Batman and the Fonjoy Justice League Batfleck Batman. That it was the most recent one that I reviewed. Those 2 figures were free. And that was only because the site that wanted me to plug them in sent them to me for free. They're not even the manufacturer. They're not related to Fonjoy. They just wanted more eyes on the site. And I wasn't paid for the review. I mean, I guess, if you want to make an argument, I was paid in the form of the figure being free, but in terms of actual like monetary plug-in, no. It's like they just said, hey, just plug the site in the description and in a pinned comment with the affiliate link, and that's it. Every other figure that's been covered on the channel, I paid for. And trust me, I will let you guys know in advance if I ever get something for free, if I get like a prize box. But let's just say that ever so often I see content creators that are on the big side with 100,000 plus subscribers, and they say, "Oh, I got this box from McFarlane Toys. They sent me this stuff for free." And for a little moment, for a brief moment, I get a little envious. But then I'm like, yeah, but now people are gonna look at his reviews and be like, "Well, you're getting stuff from McFarlane for free. Is this a real review?" Those optics are planted like a seed, and people don't know that that's what's happening, but I'm aware of it. All right, I study people. Hey, Jason Selector, welcome to the stream. Teddy Spaghetti, I love your name. Saying it out loud like that, Teddy Spaghetti. Johnny, 6 inches just doesn't do it for me anymore as an adult. Is it just me? Are you talking about action figures? It expired. Do you think the tariffs from US and China will affect us with toy expenses? Possibly. But I mean, I think everybody already knows this right now, that it's happening with the whole thing between China, Hong Kong. You know, there was that message that went out that when everybody go crazy, especially within the toy collecting community. That was in relation to imports, you know. And the 4 main names that came to my head when that message went out from USPS was, of course, Hot Toys, FonJoy, Figuarts, and Mafex. Because those are like the 4 main things that we all kind of import. I'm pretty sure there's like a couple of more that are a little lesser profile, one of which we actually might tackle later on as a topic. But within the Marvel Legends and McFarlane Toy stuff, absolutely not. And then from what I hear, they backtracked it. It's no longer happening. But at the same time, there's a part of me that's like, how much of that do I believe? Is it possible that maybe this is going to be one of those things where it's going to be a very, very, very will they, won't they kind of situation? And I'm like, bruh, like I can't shake the feeling that's going to get annoying. DM, welcome to the stream. Saying Teddy Spaghetti in the Mortal Kombat announcer voice. Teddy Spaghetti Fatality. Okay. So I think we're good now, right? Let me actually bring up... It's funny, because I'm actually going to have to bring up Preternia, not so much McFarlane Toys, because they haven't officially... fucking idiot. Just saw something on my Twitter feed. X feed, whatever you want to call it. Speaking of Hot Toys, there was it's funny, because... I think from now on, in regards to like Hot Toys showcases and presentations, I think we should just look at Hot Toys directly and not Sideshow. Whenever Sideshow does something, I gotta be honest, it's either gonna be cringe or it's gonna be just pointless. Cause I saw the thing that they showed this morning at 11, and it was a nothing burger. It was just a bunch of stuff that's already been revealed and up for pre-order, with a couple of like discount codes and things like that. I know that they have another thing happening tomorrow, but I've kind of given up on Sideshow. Like you guys are just the front for me to get Hot Toys and being able to pay them off with the payment plan, and hopefully have some good. They have excellent, amazing customer service. They do. Okay, so you don't do offers. Good to know. But in regards to like, you know, big reveals and exclusives with Sideshow, not really. David, do you think we'll ever get a Jason Todd McFarlane 6-inch? I mean, didn't they already got one? The Page Puncher? Because if you're talking about 6-inch, I think that Page Puncher, that DC Direct Page Puncher that went out recently, I think that is it. Should be it. Bring up theater mode. So, just a couple of months, or about a month and a half-ish, since the last inaugural episode of the McFarlane Toy Show. Actually, no, it's been about a month and a half or so, because I distinctly remember there being a Santa hat on the graphic for episode 1, which means it was around Christmas Eve, Christmas Day time. And now, entering February, we have our second episode of the McFarlane Toys Show, which is going to be this kind of fan stream sort of event that McFarlane is probably going to start having periodically. It's sort of a way for them to rival Hasbro with their Hasbro Pulse fan streams, like they've been doing with Marvel Legends, or even with their Star Wars division, or G.I. Joe division, or Transformers. Like ever so, I want to say like roughly once a month you'll get one of those from Hasbro. So 1 month you'll get Marvel Legends, and then about not even a month later, maybe even about 3 weeks later, you'll get the Transformers one. And after that, another 3 weeks, you get the Star Wars ones. So McFarlane's kind of doing their own thing like that with the McFarlane Toy Show. And it's funny because me also, being into video games and keeping up with trends regarding video games kind of reminds me of whenever Xbox does their Developer Direct, which recently they had their own, where they covered Doom and Expedition 33 and a couple of other games I can't remember right now, as well as Sony with their State of Play. How's that going, Sony? I think it was yesterday or the day before on Twitter, there were rumors going around that like the day before Valentine's we might get a State of Play. And I'll admit, whenever rumors start son of a bitch, son of a bitch, son of a bitch. Son of a... Sorry. Dude, leave me alone. Sorry, I just got an email. I got charged for something that I wasn't supposed to... Son of a... I got charged for something that I wasn't supposed to... Okay, sorry. I'm a little annoyed now. I'm going to have to cut this out. Yeah, I hate this. I hate it when this happens. I got charged for something I was supposed to cancel. It's not the biggest charge, and it could probably be beneficial, especially since I actually do believe I have... Basically, it's this thing that lets me sign PDFs, to apply signatures and being able to manipulate things within PDFs. So it does have its work benefits. I just didn't think I was going to get charged now. I'll probably cancel so I could use it all through into February. I mean, all throughout February, because I actually do think I might need, $30, and it's a $30 charge. I'm like, $30. It's not the worst, but god damn it. Oh, 7-inch, Demony. I mean, we've had Jason Todd 7 inches before, but you just mean like a reissue of some kind? Okay. What was I saying? Oh, well, I kind of went off on a tangent with the State of Play with PlayStation. But whenever those rumors start to kick around, it actually ends up becoming true. So we'll see entering next week, because that's still a whole another week from now. And sometimes they don't confirm a State of Play until literally 2 days before it actually happens. So I'll keep my ear to the ground with that. But McFarlane went ahead and had their sophomore episode scheduled for Wednesday, February 5th. However, the timing was a little inconvenient for me. It was at 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. And this was around a time that I unfortunately couldn't, kickstart a live stream to react to it in real time. Usually around that time, it's not only dinner time, but it's also around the time that My dad comes home, and let's just say that between my two parents, he's the one that doesn't care for all this, and he will intentionally make noise and interrupt and open the door and do things. And I'm like, yeah, too many factors. I'll just watch it live, jump into the chat if need be, and then talk about it the following day. So here I am to tell you that it wasn't very good. It wasn't very good because at the very, when they kept kind of promoting it and tweeting about it, and even to a certain extent kind of hyping it up a little bit, especially as the day kind of winded down and they started to tweet saying we're going live in 2 hours, and then over on the Instagram through like stories, we're going live in 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Hell, going through the Twitter feed here, they kept like reposting, kept talking about it here and there, and admittedly they did kind of foreshadow what was going to be included, although there was, I believe, a story or a tweet where they did say that they were going to have reveals, pre-orders, announcements. Technically speaking, that's what happened. It wasn't until we started to get a little closer that they started highlighting this little bit right here saying, prepare for the ultimate DC figure fantasy draft. Joined AJ and Brian from McFarlane Toys along with special guests. And it said 1 of 2. And obviously, as they got a little closer, reminder, it's streaming live YouTube tomorrow at that time. We had a couple of pre-orders went live that I will kind of talk about a little bit. And then just yesterday, another tweet saying the special guests, including Ahsoka the Geek, which I've referenced here on the channel before, Rob D. Toys, Brad the DC Universe Geek, and one more surprise guest, who ended up being Jim. I can't remember his last name, his first name Jim, completely decked out in Killing Joke Joker outfit, and we're about to see right now because I actually have it brought up right over here actually. And you can see right here that this whole entire, why is it not playing? Hello. I can't seem to grab, there we go. So it started off with a little bit of a preamble between AJ and Brian. I believe that these two are going to be our main guys to kind of give us the lowdown as far as these episodes, as far as these McFarlane Toy Show episodes, briefings, etc., whatever you want to call it. And they started the show with pretty much some discounts, I guess you could say some first-hand look at these discounts that are now live on certain storefronts with either codes or just straight up slashes. A reiteration of the new, which actually went up this morning, the pre-order for the animated series Clayface. However, this is the DC Direct, so it's going to be a little bit simplistic on the articulation. It's a little, cut, a little stagnant. But I do like the Clay accessories, so I'm still on the discussion side as far as whether or not I'm going to be picking that up. I'm still kind of talking to myself about it. And they went over literally a handful of pre-order stuff that we've already kind of known about. One of which, going back to the Twitter feed, is actually these 3 1/3 scale cowls, which I did want to kind of touch base a little bit, because admittedly, we're starting to get to a girth or an amount of these cowls that I'm probably going to want to pick up a few. Especially since in roughly about a week and a half, I'm starting a new job, a full-time job, which may or may not impact a little bit of the content flow here on the channel. I think the live streams are going to start to get a little sporadic. We'll have to wait and see. But I might actually have a bit of a desk at this workplace, and having some of these guys kind of in my desk would not be a bad idea, especially in 1/3 scale. Especially now since they're tackling some of these cowls that I would very much like to own. And one of them is the Arkham Asylum cowl. This legit looks pretty badass. So badass that it looks like I'm not the only one that wanted it. Because a couple of these places are actually already sold out. So let's say, for example, so Best Buy still has them. Cool. Still available for pre-order. Still at BBTS, although they're upcharging. But of course, you kind of cut down on the $4 flat rate. Available on Entertainment Earth. I thought it was sold out on the McFarlane Toy Store. There was a different... There was a storefront. I think it was Amazon, although they're not listed here, so something tells me that was a glitch. But yeah, between the three that they went up for pre-order yesterday, Arkham Asylum, maybe even the Justice League Batfleck, maybe. It's a hard maybe. I would probably sooner rather have straightforward BVS. And then we also have the Dark Knight Returns, but the blue version. So some variances there, but the Arkham Asylum one definitely piques my interest. So going back to that McFarlane toy show, like I said, it was just they talked about some of the shirts that they have available now in the store. Kong, new movie Maniacs from the Peter Jackson movie, although I don't know why he's called Kong, Eighth Wonder in the World instead of King Kong. I don't know if they want to mix, I don't know if that's a licensing problem. A bunch of resin statues, somewhat overpriced resin statues, if I'm being quite honest, because I'm like, I see those things go up. Todd himself had a message for hitting 100,000 subscribers, so he's probably going to be getting that silver play button on the channel. They did confirm that there's going to be a stream of theirs during the Walmart Con, which I believe is in March, and we're actually going to retackle this in a separate topic involving Marvel Legends. So there is that. As well as kind of, like I said, reiterating some stuff that's already out there, like the Frostbite edition of the Clooney Batman, that's a GameStop exclusive. The Blacklight Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin, that's a Entertainment Earth exclusive, which is completely sold out, surprisingly. I was like, okay, well, somewhat surprisingly, but at the same time, when you think about it, it's also because people who didn't want to do the whole Build-A-Figure thing, but still wanted a Schwarzenegger Freeze, can now just get the figure by himself without having to get Poison Ivy or Batgirl or Robin if they wanted. So there's an upside there, as well as, of course, the Target exclusives Wildcat and Orion. What's his name? Yeah. So that was the bulk of that opening moment. Now, during that opening moment, there was, however, one big thing that was revealed to kind of kickstart the entire thing that was noteworthy, that was actually pretty badass, that in my opinion was so badass and pretty cool and pretty of note that I wrote it in my Google Keep as a dash, as its own little separate little anecdote in my Google Keep as topics to tackle. And that is going to, here's the thing, I'm kind of hyped for it, especially since I missed out on the original version, but that's just it. Keyword, original version. It's technically another repaint. And that's of the Year 2 Batman set, which was originally a Target exclusive and is now becoming a Big Bat Toy Store exclusive, gold label, only now black and gray version, black accent version, instead of the blue from Year 2. And much like that set, it's going to have a diorama with the gravel and the tombstone, but he's also going to have the interchangeable cape with the plastic sculpted one, but also the cloth one, probably with the wire. Apart from that, though, it's utilizing the same buck. As far as I can tell, it kind of looks a little Three Joker-ish, but with a new head sculpt. But I'm also looking at that rim where the cape is at, and it looks like it's utilizing the same one from that Year 2 Target exclusive. And from what I remember people saying, collectors at the time, back in, what was it, I think this came out like late 2020, early 2021, so it's been a while. And when people got their hands on this Target exclusive, when it was a Target exclusive, a lot of people didn't like it. They were saying that some of these, manufacturing things that they did with the cape weren't all that great. So there's hope that maybe they have fixed it in that time. But I'm thinking about the recent Thomas Wayne Flash 2-pack, and considering how little they changed with Thomas Wayne, which was a positive for that figure because I already thought that figure was actually pretty cool. But here, there were a lot of people already saying that this was a bit of a dud exclusive then, and they just repackaged it as a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive and are making it in limited quantities to go out for pre-order next Thursday, which is already looking like a very tumultuous Thursday morning, because there's one other figure, and we'll tackle that momentarily, That's might be going up for pre-order that same Thursday morning. Then yeah, for the sake of the content, I might be putting down a pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store that morning, because A, I missed out on the original, but B, I gotta do a review for it. You know, it it's gotta get some sort of spotlight shed on it. But don't get me wrong, there's nuggets of hesitation or skepticism in regards to how much they're really repackaging here, and how 2025 is looking with McFarlane. Because this is actually a perfect segue into the remainder of that McFarlane Toys show, which was a whole lot of nothing. Let's look at this timeline, because at exactly 15 minutes and 30 seconds, Jim from the DC marketing team got introduced with his get up here. Like I said, very killer joke. He even did the whole phone pose from the Killing Joke cover. And I remember I did see him at the McFarlane Toys panel at Comic-Con. So despite my and Rob D Toys was there. Despite some hurdles I had to get through for this Comic-Con experience this past summer, I'm still kind of glad that I did it. Like, I'm glad that I was able to checkbox that, at least, and even more so with my girlfriend. I just wish that my girlfriend wasn't as damaged from that whole thing as she was from a physical standpoint. Like she literally had some bumps and bruises. But here's the thing. He gets introduced, right? So around the 17-minute mark, 17 and a half minutes, they do what they were kind of hinting at, which was this McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figure draft. Similar to a draft, because obviously we got the Super Bowl coming up, so they're doing it in that sports pick kind of style. But I think also in December, Marvel Legends even did something like this. So something tells me someone on the team over at McFarlane Toys saw Marvel Legends do it and thought, oh, let's do our own version. This thing goes on for 53 fucking minutes. Not even the Marvel Legends guys went on for that long. I went and made dinner. It was a quick dinner. It was just some quesadillas. But I literally told myself, let's just see how long this goes. Went and made dinner. Ate dinner. Came back, and they were still doing this. Guys, this ain't it. This wasn't it. It added a little bit of spice to have Brad, DCU Geek, and Ahsoka when they were trying to like get a little touchy with each other as far as like, this is my list, but it also felt a little manufactured. I don't know why, but I just didn't get the vibe with these guys pulling the draft. You know, there was no like this is a term that I think is going to be utilized with a lot of people. It felt like HR was in the room the entire time, and that's why I'm like, this wasn't that fun. I'm sorry. If anything, they should have put themselves at a cap of like 6 figures each. Not, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 figures each? It should have been like 5 or 6. 5 or 6. I'm sorry. This is some tough love. This took up way too much time. 53 minutes. Was it 53? Yeah, 53. 53-ish, maybe even 54. 54 minutes out of an hour and 21. That means, and then like how long of a starting soon screen was it? 2 minutes, so let's round it to 55. 21, about 25 minutes of actual discussions. No. It's the whole draft idea, not a bad idea, but you needed to pair it. You needed to pair it. Can you turn up your volume? Am I really that low? Hello? Can you hear me now? Oh, Jesus, Jason. I'm outside splitting firewood and I can't hear you well on full volume. Jesus, Jason's electric is like Captain America out there. Only 25 minutes of actual discussions around the figures. I'm sorry. This is my tough love constructive criticism, guys. Nah. Don't do that. Don't do that. Going back to Diminity's earlier comment, the live stream was a bit of a letdown. You should be invited for the next draft. Just saying, I don't think there should even be a next draft. To get away from that. You can maybe have like a little segment to discuss things so that it's paced out well. And then kind of sprinkle in some reveals there in the center, but that went on for too long. And I guess what also kind of made things sting a little further was the fact that after the draft, they did get into some reveals. But the reveals, and this is just me, there were some people in the chat saying otherwise. But for my money, literally, figuratively and literally, these reveals weren't it. After waiting all that time, there needed to be this kind of like, if you guys are gonna be kind of tackling this very similar to how video game companies do it or how the competitor Marvel Legends does it, there has to be a one more thing or like a tease of what's coming. You know, that could really make headlines or make YouTube titles and eye-catching thumbnails. And these reveals just weren't it. Because what were they? They started with another one of those cover recreations of an existing figure. Comedian, I think it's the comedian Joker from Killing Joke, with the back little standee there that's blank on one side with just the logo, and then on the other side you have the cover with the camera. You have a Kong, or is that even Kong, or is that Gorilla Grodd? I don't even know. With Flash figure right there, kind of similar to the Hush Kong 2-pack. I don't care for it, but I know some people might. Play that a little bit there. Is that supposed to be Kong? I'm not entirely sure. But, yeah. And then we get to proper McFarlane Toys Collector's Editions reveals. And I don't care about him. You got this guy, I can't even remember his name, Adam something. And classic Deadshot. Like classic 1960s, 1970s, I think. I can't remember. I don't know exactly what the year is. But I know it's like a vintage look to Deadshot. Which is not, aesthetically, visually, doesn't look like a bad figure. I just don't want it. Like, if I see this in the store, I'll be like, oh, cool, I found it. All right, anyways. And that's it. That was it. Now, I'm not saying that, where's Batman? Where's Batman? We had plenty of years with Batman. You guys even saw a briefing of that in the draft. Of how many Batman had his own like bracket, and then underneath it just said Justice League. I was like, Jesus, There really is a lot of Batman. So I'm not saying that we're like falling short on Batman. No, and we even had that Big Bad Toy Store year 2, but even that Batman is a repaint. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, entering 2025, are we gonna get a bit of a Batman drought? And I'm of two minds. There's a part of me that's like, oh, my wallet can rest. But then there's another part of me that's like, but at the same time, what's there to cover? What's there to hunt? Right now, if you want to get super technical, the only thing I'm hunting is Power Girl. And even her, I'm starting to wane on the hunting because it seems like some storefronts, like Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store and even McFarlane Toy Stores themselves, are starting to ship out their stuff. So the hunting is going to start to become a little pointless. So for me to cover like some Batman stuff, it looks like, I'm pulling back on that. At least, like I said, from a creator standpoint, that means that I can start working on stuff that has been on the backlog, like the Amazing Yamaguchi Arkham Knight Batman, the Spin Master stuff. What's something else? Some Hot Toy stuff even. But yeah, man, like I'm a little worried for McFarlane Toys. I'm not gonna lie. And considering we had a discussion some time ago about the rights and licenses expiring, like, are they trying to soften the blow for us to say, like, sometime later on in the year he's gonna be like, hey guys, DC license expires in 2025. The reason why I haven't been doing that much Batman and why I've been just reusing old figures instead of putting money into new bucks, new models, new sculpts is because I'm actually bowing out. Peace. We can't really rule that out. We cannot rule that out. I'm not saying that that's a guarantee that's going to happen, but I'm also not ruling it out because... And granted, it's only February. I think it would be a worthwhile thing to say if we enter Q2 or we're approaching the end of the first half of the year, so June, and then by then we only get like 2 or 3 Batmans, and some of them are just repaints of existing Batman, and then I'll be like, guys, I think it's Jover, as the kids say these days. I think it might be. Onward and upward, then. Polish Tank 48, welcome to the stream. I think it's interesting that the leaks mentioned a V2. That too, I was about to say that in the chat, but I don't think they would want somebody to say that. But when that got revealed, that year 2 black and white version, immediately I thought, wasn't that on the leaks document? So how many of those leaks are coming for sure? And some of them have already been confirmed, like Batman Begins, the figure, the 89 standalone. You know what? I think we might have to revisit those McFarlane leaks. Where was that document? I'm trying to remember if I even saved it. Well, wait, Polish Tank, did you watch the McFarlane Toy Show? Because your second comment says that, oh, you wonder how those leaks are accurate. I mean, look at the McFarlane Toy Show reveal, and then Paternia over on his Twitter has the screen grab. It's pretty much happening, and from what I can tell, it looks like they're just taking the original Target exclusive and then making it black, or making it black and gray. Definitely getting that Joker. The resale for the old one is too much. That's true. Again, people who missed out on that original, definitely a worthwhile thing, just like I'm thinking about that year 2 Batman. But outside of that, I am self-aware that it's just a reissue, and that's why I'm like, how much slack can we really give them? Is this the one that I saw? Actually, I think it might be. Obviously, in that leak, they also talked about the Superman movie, so they're probably working on that. Okay, there's a Batman mega figure final suit from 6th Dimension. What does that look like? Batman. Yes, 6th Dimension. Ooh, a mega figure of this? Okay, I suspect that that's probably going to be sandwiched in there. I'll show you guys right now in a bit. I'm just trying to pull up what else could also. There's that year 2. Adam Strange and Deadshot, and that was revealed at the show. Actually, you know what? Let's switch the screen here. Here we go, guys. Little by little, a lot of these are actually coming to fruition. Holy shit! The Frostbite, glow in the dark Captain Carrot. But here we go. Batman Year 2, black and white with accent gold label. This one hasn't been revealed as part of the collector's edition, but Adam Strange, that was his name. Adam Strange and Deadshot just got revealed. Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific. One Dark Knight collector's edition, the collector cowl. But down here is where we have the Superman movie stuff. And then over here, Tempest, Superman classic animation, that got revealed, Dark Flash. So Batman 1 in a Million still hasn't been revealed. Another Jokerized Dark Knight's Death Metal. Fidgetals with Dr. Fate, Two-Face, and Superman. 89 Batman Begins and Batman Begins Gold. The gold label for Batman Begins has not been revealed. I think they're just gonna drop that in like a social media post. There's Christopher Reeve. King Kong 2005. There it is. Movie Maniacs, which they just revealed. So it looks like there's an awful lot of credence to this. So out of all this, what I'm looking forward to that could be brand new figures and brand new things to look forward to is a mega figure of this guy. That actually does look pretty dope, and I would pick that up, to be quite honest. That would be cool. Batman 1 in a Million, I think it's called. This guy, that looks pretty dope. I wouldn't mind having a figure of that. Okay. And then what else? And then that Batman Begins Platinum, which could be Demon Bat and would be sick if it was Demon Bat. And then, of course, 89 Batman and the regular Batman Begins Batman. Hold on, I wonder what this Batman Year 2 V2 is. That's not the one on the other screen. Where is it? Oh, there's Icon. Icon just got revealed. There's Icon right there. Kingdom Come Superman. That would be sick. Oh, right here. So this one, wait, where'd it go? This one and this one, it looks like they're different. This is the one I think that got revealed on yesterday's show. But then this one looks different. The number 34 collector's edition. Oh, and collector's edition 2-pack, Batman vs. Killer Croc from Grim Knight. So that's about 5 or 6 maybe within the next 6 months or so, roughly 5 to 6 months. Not a bad average, but at the same time, like I said, how many of these are just going to be retools or repaints? One of them we know is, which is that Year 2 Batman. So that's the one you're talking about, Polish Tank? Then in that case, then yeah, we have to wait and see what that one is. There'll be another version. Okay. Yeah, the V2. So the one that was on last night's show, we can assume that that's not the V2. pretty intriguing. But yeah, I gotta be honest, that show. Mm. Here's still hoping that the third episode is. Oh, Pugman, welcome to stream. Uh, yeah, I'm hoping that episode 3 will go a little better because I gotta be honest. Thought that was kind of weak. Yeah, god damn it, I did not want to get charged for that, but at the same time, I feel like there might still be some more stuff that I need to fill out and sign, so it is what it is. Oh, and then McFarlane Toys just posted on their story to vote who had the best draft picks. How about that? Joshua, not yeah, Joshua, welcome. Captain Cold Wave. What do you mean by wave? Like, did you get the case? Because I know they're also selling cases. I wonder, because I do have a pre-order with Entertainment Earth for Power Go, and the only reason why I haven't like canceled or done anything with it is because it still says pre-order, it doesn't say processing. Is because with Entertainment Earth, there's always the possibility that they might send a chase. That's why I'm like, let's leave this and see what happens. But I know that Captain Cold and Guy Gardner are actually in stock, so if you want to order them, you'll get them. But hopefully they'll start fulfilling Power Girl orders soon. Oh, I don't know if you guys heard that. I just cracked my neck. Really briefly, last night I went ahead and saw the next 3 episodes of Spider-Man, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the animated Disney Plus show right now. Last time I talked about this as its own separate video that was pre-edited and, you know, hyperfilm with like the 4K camera and all this stuff. Frankly, the video didn't do all that well, so I thought to myself, let me talk about it on stream as its own topic and just kind of splice it out. But went ahead and watched the next 3 episodes of the Spider-Man animated show, and I still don't know how to feel about it because there's still some things there that, like I said, are not really going to change as far as like the animation style. Though I do acknowledge that if you were to take like the show and pause it a couple times, which I did because I went and got myself a snack to eat, and then when I came back, I noticed that if you pause the animation and just look at it in a very still frame kind of perspective, it does mimic an awful lot of the aesthetics of the Jack Kirby show. The Jack Kirby kind of design and animation and art style from those classic comics from the 60s and even kind of going a little bit into the 70s. So I do dig that. It's just that once you get into the motion, you then see that it's all replicated via CGI, via computer and stuff like that, and that's where it mildly loses me. Speaking of what could lose me is still a little bit of the very sterile dialogue. When characters kind of talk to each other, it always feels like everybody was recorded separately in like different, not only different booths but different days. Like they didn't really talk to each other. And I can still say that it doesn't feel terrible. And out of all of them, the standouts are still, like I said in the prior review, Coleman Domingo, who has a bigger part to play now as Norman Osborn, and I really, really enjoy. And even Hunter Thames, it kind of mimicking a little bit of that Tom Holland-esque kind of aesthetic to his voice. But the rest of the characters, like I said, they do a fine enough job, but it just still feels like, again, HR's in the room, and that's how the characters kind of talk to one another. And for a little while, it didn't really feel like, starting with that third episode, I was like, okay, Osborn knows, as you can, and that was in the trailer. But as things kind of evolved, I was like, okay, there's still not a whole lot of drama. There's still not a whole lot of conflict. Where exactly is any of this stuff kind of going? Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, back. Sorry. I need to fresh up my face. You can see right here my hair's a little wet. Like I said, guys, after talking for a good while, I don't know why, it's just head starts to get a little foggy. I need to like sprinkle water on my face or do something. So, and I was feeling that a little bit with episode 3, but as we got into the end of episode 3, beginnings of episode 4, lo and behold, we did start to get a little bit of conflict. The humor's still not landing for me personally. So I can't bring myself to label it as terrible, but again, it still feels very like HR, like, I don't know. I can't describe it, but it's just there again. They keep dropping hell, ass, damn, some cuss words. But when your humor is like so not edgy, and you don't feel like characters have that sharp wit, I'm like, then what's the point? You might as well have made this G-rated. I feel like there's a conflict here. The conflict is within the dialogue and not really so much the story. But once we get into episode 4, things ramp up a little bit, especially as we start to get introduced to classic characters or seeing the origins of classic characters. Because for a little while, I was wondering to myself, like, why are we spending so much time on Lonnie Lincoln, who's a high schooler here? But if you guys know anything about Spider-Man, you know that name sounds a little familiar, Lonnie Lincoln. And so we're starting to see his origins fluctuate, and I'm like, all right, that's kind of intriguing. Now, it sometimes feels a little side questy. It kind of reminds me, and I'm not comparing the quality here. I'm not. I'm simply just saying that it reminds me, in terms of structure, it kind of reminds me of the early seasons of Better Call Saul, where you had Jimmy doing his lawyer thing, but then out of nowhere we would cut to Mike doing some really hard, edgy, very high stakes cartel stuff, and you're like, okay, sometimes it's a little whiplashy to go from one to the other. I felt that a little bit here within the confines of a Spider-Man cartoon. I felt that a little bit whenever we would jump from the Lonnie Lincoln stuff to the Peter stuff. So I'm hoping that we will marry that a little better in the last half of the season thus far. But I can at least say that we're starting to get some ideas fluctuating and starting to see them get a little bit more fulfilled with the inclusion of Lonnie Lincoln's origin, Peter trying out different suits, granted most of which were for comedic value, although one managed to sneak in the goddamn balloon from Spider-Man 2, the video game. My balloon! They put it in there. They put it in the show. I can't believe they did that. Along with another classic memed line from the first Spider-Man Tobey Maguire movie. I forgot the part where that's my problem. They actually put the line in there. God damn it. So things started to ramp up a little bit there in episode 4, and then with 5, I gotta be honest, I can't remember what episode 5 ended with. We had like these Russian people breaking out of prison, and it's starting to feel a little, I guess this also brought up another little concern that I have that I'm hoping gets remedied a little finer in the last half of the season, which is that we are dealing with quite a bit of villain of the week syndrome, especially when some of these characters don't really have names that stand out to me. So right now, that's taking a little bit of a hit, but at least what's kind of keeping the anchor flowing is, again, the stuff that's happening with Lonnie and Spider-Man's backstory, finding this weird amalgamation that's taking a little bit of the comics, but also taking a little bit of the MCU, especially since they're taking something very integral from the MCU at the point of where MCU was peak, but at the same time, on the flip side of that coin, it's hammering more across that this was supposed to be tied to the Tom Holland Spidey, and it's not. So they kind of erase, literally with an eraser, a handful of different things, but they're still kind of making it seem like it's MCU in regards to one of the big turning points in the phase 3 of the MCU. But here it's like, oh, what if Spidey had nothing to do with that, and Norman Osborn had a hand in that? I am intrigued to see if Norman's going to do something about that MCU connection. Even though this is still technically, like I said, a different dimension or a different Elseworld kind of situation, and how that's going to unfold. Again, I'm trying to keep it spoiler-free because, and trying not to divulge too much, because I still feel like with, it's only been 2 weeks since the premiere of the show, so maybe some people are kind of talking about it as we speak. And like I said, each episode is only about 20, 25 minutes, something like that. So I'm like, all right, we're in that realm where, people can catch up pretty quickly. And then next week we're going to have another 3 episodes. And after that, the final 2 episodes, and then it's done. So within a span of 4 weeks, people can catch. And maybe at the end of that, I'll do one more full video where I'll tackle the whole show, spoilers and all. I don't know. We'll see. But like I said, in episode 5, they actually tie it into something MCU related, even though it's not actually acknowledging the MCU as we know it. So it's in this muddy area. But it's still, if I was to at least kind of suspend my disbelief and from this point forward go, okay, this is its own thing, its own narrative, how does it go from that point? And that might have something. That might have potential. Again, it's still is feeding off of that potential. And like I said, there's some things that have gotten better, but then there's some other things that, even though they haven't gotten worse, they haven't improved. Like I said, the dialogue and the animation, but I'm at least seeing what they're, like I said, doing with some classic characters, some of which were hinted at in some recent trailers, and then some others that are being changed around with the mythology as far as knowing that Peter Spider-Man, not knowing who that Peter Spider-Man, whether or not Spider-Man is part of the Civil War debacle, etc. So I'm like, all right, that's actually pretty intriguing. I do find that kind of interesting. So I'm glad to see that if we can just focus on that and not on anything else that doesn't add to the story, I'll actually be pretty happy. So yeah, those are my quick ramblings on the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man up until this point, which is officially through its halfway mark. Let's see what's on the next agenda. I guess while keeping it Spider-Man related, this morning we actually had some Marvel Legends figures go up for pre-order. And it was part of that mini comic book wave. So going back to my good old source for pre-orders, and that's going to be Paternia. Big shout out to Paternia and even to Toy Shiz. So Paternia, it's almost like takes care of the Twitter stuff, and then Toy Shiz I look for in Instagram. Let me see if it's still available. No, it is. Took it out. So yeah, we had the mini comic book wave go up for pre-order this morning from Marvel Legends. And that mini comic book wave, as demonstrated from that last Marvel Legends fan stream, was Miles Morales, Iron Man. God, I'm blanking on his name. Why do I keep forgetting his name? The Dakin Wolverine, which is that weird Wolverine with the underclaw. Adam Warlock, Banshee. Who else? Rom. Okay, that's the name of the robot, Rom. So you had a grand total of about 6 figures. And yeah, I mean, it is an interesting concept, but make no mistake, out of all of them, the only one that kind of slightly piqued my interest was that Miles Morales Spider-Man, because I got to check it out on the stream, or I got to check it out on the channel. I did put down a pre-order for it at Amazon because I could always cancel, or if I need to return it, or if I need to do something, and I'll also do it via pickup. But they are also available on Big Bad Toy Store, and they're actually still currently available, no sellouts from what I can tell. So those went up for pre-order this morning. But along with that, it looks like our Marvel Legends timetable is starting to get closer and closer to a very close release. Let me, it's getting a little tight-knit, if you will, because I think it's in my bookmarks. So let me double check. Yes, it is. Bring this up, because this was shared, I think, a couple of weeks ago, something like that. Paternia also, or this was like a little while ago when that fan stream happened, or no, yeah, a few days ago, February 1st. Now that we know Marvel Legends 1977 is set for pre-order in March, seems likely it's going to be during the Walmart Collector Con. So not only has McFarlane got plans for the Collector Con, but it looks like that's also where we're going to get our 77 TV show Spider-Man going up for pre-order as a Walmart exclusive. And as he noted that, or as Paternia noted, last year's was March 14th through the 15th, with teases starting at the end of February. So it looks like this year we're probably going to be getting something along the same lines. But, this is one of the things to look out for going through in March. And then somewhere, okay, it was down here. So we got our um, mini comic book wave out of the way that had one of the Spidey figures that piqued my interest in that last Marvel Legends fan stream. Obviously, the number one big reveal that had me and a lot of people in the community stoked, intrigued, but also very skeptical, maybe even enraged, is that Maximum Spidey. I know we're starting to reach levels of saturation talking about this figure, similar to how people in the video game space like to keep talking about the Suicide Squad game, the Dragon Age game, Assassin's Creed Shadows, which isn't even out, and people just keep fucking talking about it. But hopefully that will soon come to an end, because it looks like that Maximum Series Spidey will go up for pre-order next Thursday, February 13th. The same morning as, and I think Dan Yun even mentioned this. Dan Yun. Did he mention it? So yeah, 13, somewhere around here. He did also mention that those pre-orders typically go around around 1300 ET, which is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 10 a.m. So at 9 a.m. next Thursday, we're going to get that Big Bad Toy Store exclusive McFarlane Toys Year 2 Batman. And then likely an hour later, we're going to get that Maximum Spidey. And that's going up for pre-order February 13th. So February 13th, a lot of these toy companies are going to start splicing open your wallets. So you're not going to have enough for your girl or your guy or your spouse or your partner the next day. You better make sure you got a backup plan for Valentine's Day, because it looks like it's going down that Thursday morning. Granted, like I said, for example, that McFarlane Toys exclusive Big Bad Toy Store, it's Big Bad Toy Store. Unless they ask for a non-refundable deposit, which would be awfully scummy, because I can't imagine that figure being more than like $50. Generally, they don't ask for non-refundable deposits unless the figure's like over 100 or something like that. They shouldn't charge right away, so we should be good on that one. But then the Marvel Legends one is the one that might be, and we still have yet to figure out what the actual pricing of that will be, which has been a point of contention on the video that did I make a separate? Yeah, I did. I made a separate video about it. And along with that, the topic that we talked about last week with that potential price leak, the comment section, it's just going, I get like a comment, I think I want to say every 10, 15 minutes, talking about what would be a make or break deal for you guys on that Maximum Spidey. So far, from the reception that I've gotten, everyone is almost in agreement that 45 is the cap. 40 is preferred, but 45 is pushing it, and they'll still do it, but that's it. Once we get into 50, a lot of people are bowing out. Now, we'll see how many of those people will actually speak with their wallets when those pre-orders go live next Thursday. I'll keep you guys posted of what happens with me, but it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out, because I think somebody else in a separate YouTube video even mentioned that Marvel Legends, you could almost categorize it as a conspiracy theory, but it's a pretty easy to buy conspiracy theory, which is that right now, those people at Marvel Legends, mainly the executives, so I'm not, Dan, Ryan, and Dwight, I think they're kind of off the hook for this one, but people are speculating that the reason for why there's no price is because they're actually watching content creators talking about this so that they can then gauge how much to price it for. And if people are, posting in the comments saying, I'll do 40, 45, and that's it, then maybe in a few days they'll be like, okay, $45, here it is. Would they actually be doing that? Are we determining the price? That is actually pretty intriguing. What do you guys think? Maurice Phillip, welcome to the stream. Because it is rather interesting that we're going this long without a legitimate price uh, listing or price. They just keep saying pre-orders going live, pre-orders going live. Especially with such a unique, or relatively unique, iteration of a brand new wave or a brand new line, whatever the case may be. With the mini comics, you know, they have the same card style and the same kind of accessories bundled in, very reminiscent of almost every Marvel Legends that is out there, and that's why automatically we thought $25, and therefore the Marvel Legends that went up this morning are $25. The deluxe Electro from No Way Home was labeled as a deluxe, and those deluxes always go between 35 and 40. It ended up being 35. But this Maximum series is like, okay, is it like the deluxe? Is this its own thing? They're being very hush hush, very, you know, tiptoe about it. So, but we're led to believe that we're only a week away from pre-orders going live, and yet still no price. Could it be possible that they're gauging the audience? They're playing chicken with us to see what we say in the comments will dictate how much we're willing to spend. And again, the overall consensus is that 45 is the cap. 50 people are saying, no, we'll wait. And then 60 people are legit laughing and saying, I'd rather get a Mayfix. Which makes, from a monetarily standpoint, it makes sense. But at the same time, how many people are actually going to speak with their wallets on that front? I think I'm one of the people that have been saying that exact thing for a while now. Really? The Batman will be about 60 like last time? Joshua, which Batman? Are you talking about that Big Bad Toy Store exclusive? With that extra cape, I can kind of see it. Yeah, so it's looking, and I don't know if like this is all kind of controlled or dictated by like the fact that I mean, I'm kind of, you know, being stupid here, but there's also another part of me that's like, is this all dictated because of financial investors? Are they trying to get as many of these pre-orders for these figures out before the end of the fiscal year, which is generally like at the end of March? It looks kind of tracked for that. Name's Tron, welcome to stream. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Some alerts that I need to respond to real quick before we tackle what is probably going to be the last topic, but it is actually pretty interesting. So give me 1 second. Alright, deleted it. Okay, which page should I use to showcase this? I'll just use the Reddit page. At the beginning, towards the beginning of the stream, I was mentioning how McFarlane, when I was tackling the McFarlane Toy Show, how we're kind of entering February and we still haven't had, even in the last, few months of 2024, there wasn't an awful lot of like Batman stuff as far as new stuff. We got some reiterations. I think maybe the armorized Batman from the BVS wave. It's probably the closest to something that's relatively brand new, but apart from that, Nightmare Batman was just BVS, but with like trench coat on it and the pants. Apart from that, we've had like a lot of reissues, repaints, retools, and even the big exclusive that was disclosed at the McFarlane Toy Show is technically a reissue of a Target exclusive from a couple years back. So it makes me wonder, like, there's not a whole lot of McFarlane Toys Batmans to really cover in the first few months of the year. So at least it gives me time to tackle some of the figures that I've had on the backlog for videos that I've either filmed or need to film. One of which is my review for the Arkham Knight Batman from Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech, which I've already reviewed. I've already filmed a review. I just gotta edit it and post it. But speaking of Arkham Knight Batman, Revoltech is not the only one that is tackling that iteration of Batman. There's a company that I gotta be honest, I never really heard of. Never heard of, to be quite honest. I'm being upfront here. Never heard of this company. But if this is what they're kicking things off with, you guys might have to sign me up here. It's a company called LPZZ. And they are tackling that Arkham Knight Batman. This figure has actually been in development for some time, and there were some prototype shots circling around for months now. But it looks like we now have photos of a legit final product. And these photos were posted a few days ago. I think, somewhere close to about a week ago. These were posted on the Action Figures subreddit. And it looks like pre-orders are actually already live from certain places, from certain toy fronts that are, I think, either Japanese or Chinese. And this guy looks kind of legit if this is the quality that we are to expect. It looks like it's 6-inch. And yeah. And I believe it's licensed. So LPZZ. This is one photo here from the Batman V8.04 suit, which is basically the Arkham Knight suit. 1/12 scale figure, so 6 inches. 1/12. Kind of like Mesco size. Roughly 6 inches. Maybe a little taller, maybe a little shorter. But this is one preliminary photo. Then you have him with the cowl off. Cape fully posed like that. Holding the cowl. There's the cape with a little bit of a design right there, which is technically accurate because he does have that little glossy bit. I just don't think if it's that. I don't know if it's the lighting, but I don't think it's that shiny. But technically, he does have that pattern on the back of the cape, and it does seem to be like a wired fabric cape. And here he is facing what is likely going to be the next LPZZ. I don't know if they already have this out. I'm going to have to double check, but Deathstroke, or maybe they're utilizing a different Deathstroke. And technically not accurate because he fought Deathstroke in Arkham Origins, not Arkham Knight. But you can kind of get a taste of what the posability is going to be like here. So you see that right there. Him posing with the cape, which is undoubtedly going to be wired. And it's probably going to be wired maybe 5 times, not only on the rims, but also a little bit there in the middle to kind of keep this up. The posability around the legs is going to be very similar to that of the Amazing Yamaguchi. If anything, the Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech is going to be I think the most direct competitor to the LPZZ. Him kind of crouching down here. The fact that this figure is able to achieve this pose is still already much better than even McFarlane, I'll have to admit. That's crazy. And then direct headshots with the different expressions. I don't think he's going to have rolling eyeballs. I'll be genuinely surprised, but I think that's just going to be a plate. I'm going to look at the accessory photos right now, but you can definitely see he'll have the neutral face, the unmasked face, and then a separate mouth plate with the grimace, although the teeth look a little weird, but the expression itself is pretty good. And here you go. Yeah, So here's the accessory shot in a neutral pose with the base, which I gotta be honest, I don't know how I feel about the Transformers font on the front where it says Arkham Knight, because it kind of makes it seem, I don't like the font. I wish it would have gone something a little bit more Rocksteady Arkham. But on top of that, it kind of makes it seem like this is the Arkham Knight, but it's not. It's Arkham Knight Batman. It should just say Batman, because you already have the official Arkham Knight logo on the front of on the top of the base. So I hope that that's something that they have enough time to change. Okay, and they are still working on it. Product's still in progress. Please refer to the actual product, to the actual thing. Yeah, LPZZ, if you watch this, change that to just Batman and maybe change the font. The accessories themselves don't look too bad. There you have your usual hand accessories right there with different expressions. The grappler. I can't remember what gun this is. The zipliner, the explosive gel gun, 2 batarangs, the unmasked head sculpt. It looks like this stuff is going to be some kind of like retail exclusive because you have the different style of batarangs. Like some of them are sonar, some of them are explosive, I believe. You have the grenade. I think it's a grenade. I can't remember what that is. The different mouth plate. I'm trying to remember what this gun was. I'm going to have to play Arkham Knight again. Hopefully before the 10-year anniversary. But what I'm noticing is that I don't see a separate eye plate. So are those rolling eyeballs? Or just an eye plate that you kind of just shift this and then... Because I know that some figures do that. So I'm wondering if that's the method that they're going to tackle. Because it does look like there's a seam. If you go back to the headshot. Actually, not even this shot. It's here. You can kind of see a little bit of a seam right there. So I'm imagining this piece at the front of the cowl is going to be removable. And that'll give you access to the eyes. But I wonder if you're able to actually move the eyes separately. Or if it's just a different plate. 168.4 millimeters. I'm gonna have to convert that because I can't remember how much that is. How many inches that is. Full flex wingspan. And that's it. And like I said, technically speaking, some pre-orders are already live on some sites. This is a site called Toys Metaverse. Never really heard from them, so I'm not saying pre-order from them. I don't know, what their reliability is. I'm not saying that. I haven't pre-ordered from them. I'm just checking this product page out to see exactly the fact that pre-orders not only go live, but also to kind of get a rough estimate of how much the figure is going to be, which is going to be about $75. And again, that is competitive. That is competitive to Mafex's, Figuarts, and most especially Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi, because those Revoltech figures sometimes go for about 100 flat, maybe 105, 110 and some change. And then we have another site over here, Bumblebee, which I actually have heard of. They're asking for a $5 deposit, but it seems like they're also going to be retailing it for about the same. Actually, maybe even cheaper, 60 bucks. Oh, but it doesn't count. It doesn't have shipping and tax. But still, okay, here we go. Frost Grenade. Voice synthesizer, that's what it was. The hook gun, jammer gun, tracking dart, realistic head sculpt, base, bat tags. I don't see separate eye plates, so something tells me it is going to be rolling eyeballs that you're able to like move from inside, which Amazing Yamaguchi does allow. I'll cover that in the review. So I guess that's something that they are going to, again, to stay competitive. That's probably something that they're going to tackle. So I am for sure intrigued in what LPZZ, and this is a really good way to kind of bring attention to the brand by having this be their like first mainline figure. And if Deathstroke is the next one up, sign me up. And that way, and hey, LPZZ Deathstroke with good detail and articulation, and then over at Morphig, that Arkham Origins Batman. And both are 1/12. Perfect. Fucking perfect. That would be... Now, only time will tell if LPZZ will tackle Arkham Origins or if Morphig is going to tackle Arkham Knight Batman. That'll be intriguing. And trust me, comparisons will be abound. And I will definitely make that content when we get to it. But for now, I'm definitely intrigued to see what LPZZ does. Sign me up. What do you guys think? Heard about this one. Looks pretty sweet. Name is Chon. Thank you for dropping by. I've bought from Bumblebee before. I haven't had any problems with them. Yeah, I've seen a lot of reviews saying that they were good. They actually have the supposedly they have the Funjoy armored Batman from BBS in stock. I might actually go ahead and pick it up from them and kind of have that be a bit of a test run to see how reliable they are. Wrench, welcome. I just noticed your profile picture, Wrench from Watch Dogs. You'll think we'll get the figure this year, especially with the tariff stuff going on. Oh, and KevBot, welcome to stream. Well, like I said, they're going back and forth on the tariff stuff, that now USPS is back to accepting packages and sending them. Supposedly, both the Toys Metaverse and Bumblebee have it scheduled for Q2, so anywhere between April and June of this year. Which I can kind of believe. I don't know, man. Because, like I said, I feel like the tariff thing stuff happening right now is a very much a will they, won't they situation. Like, I can't, it's going to ebb and flow. Because even with them walking it back, there's a part of me that's like, yeah, but how do I know that tomorrow I'll wake up and it's like, oh, back. We're back to it. Oh, what time is it? which sites would you recommend again for pre-order? Sorry if it's been asked already. Well, for what? Which figure? If you're talking about the LPZZ Arkham Knight, I mean, I gotta be brutally honest, I don't know, because it's available on this site called Toys Metaverse, but I've never ordered from them, so I have no idea. Bombus Bee, I've never ordered, but I've seen some reviews saying that they're actually are reliable. I've seen some people bring them up on the was it McFarlane Toys or was it the Mayfix subreddit saying that, hey, they're good. I've had no problems. Maurice in the stream, Maurice Phillip said that he's ordered from Bombus Bee and that he's had no problems. And I'm thinking about ordering from them. They figured that's supposedly in stock right now, the Fonjoy Armored Batman, to give it a test run, and I'll let you know how quick they ship it out and when it arrives and how it turns out. So you could try going with Bombus Bee, but at the same, I don't take that from me because, like I said, I've never ordered from them. So we'll find out. And Bombus Bee has a pre-order available for LPZZ. Like they'll take $5 now, and then they'll charge you the rest when it's available. $5K toys. Yeah, I did see someone else mention that online when I was looking at the LPZZ on Reddit. Dr. Nobody, welcome. Just don't get it from Nerdzoic. It'll take 22 months to ship. I heard Nerdzoic is really good with Marvel Legends and McFarlane. Like a lot of basically, if it's in the US, Nerdzoic is good as a storefront. And I'm strictly talking about them as a storefront. I'm not talking about them as a YouTube channel. This is a storefront. I hear that if it's like within the US, they're good. Outside of the US, they have and it's a very gray area where you're better off importing, but that's not to say that Nerdzoic is at fault. It's a lot of like some of these companies don't talk to him. Like he's very upfront on the YouTube channel or on the social media platform saying, hey, this company just won't talk to me, or they ship to me last before all the other storefronts because obviously the others sell quicker, like Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth or name your company here. Yeah. Okay. So, Doctor Nobody, you're confirming. Yeah. And ever so often, they even surprise me because ever so often they'll get something that is like a Hasbro Pulse exclusive or a McFarlane Toy Store exclusive, but they have it, and the prices aren't bad. Like you might have to pay a little bit extra for the shipping, and if they upcharge, they only upcharge like $2 or $3, and that's it. I'm like, if you really want this. And for me personally, if it's going to be covered on the channel, I might just do it. And they have a pay in 4 option with Shop. So if you want to pay in installments, they do have that. Yeah. Between Arkham Knight and Arkham Origins, I'm torn about what to get. My wallet can only take so much. Like I said, some of us are also thinking about next Thursday or next week. You have Thursday with Maximum Spidey from Marvel Legends, and then that Year 2 Batman from McFarlane going up for pre-order. And then the next day or that following weekend, Valentine's Day weekend. If you have a partner or a spouse, which I do. But I mostly kid about that because we often end up like splitting it when that happens. Okay. All right, guys. I'm running out of voice here, so I think I'm going to call it there. Plus, I actually do have to run some errands. before dinner, because after dinner I want to get some filming done, and then I have a call at 7 o'clock that I need to get to. So things are kind of are surprisingly stacking up here now that I think about it. As I was looking at my phone, I was getting like some messages for a call and for things that need correspondence. So let me go ahead and jet on out of here, guys. KevBot, I'm sorry if you joined the stream late, but thank you for joining nonetheless. Dr. Nobody, Wrench, Namestron, Maurice Phillip, Joshua, Pugman, Polish Tank, Johnny Shin, Jason's Electric, West Michigan Collector, Teddy Spaghetti, Venom Shame, Diminity. Who else was here? Hank V. Earlier in the stream, I don't know if I said hi to you. You waved hi. And that about does it. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Quite a bit of a packed show. And I want to let YouTube do its thing so I can download it later and start splicing it. No video tomorrow if I can recall, but this weekend, like I said, one of the 2 Marvel Legends reviews are going up for some Marvel Legends I was able to find recently in the wild, and trust me, people are gonna... I'm looking forward to that comment section, because that last one, whew, that last one. Anyways, subscribe to Boomogs, enjoy the content. Thank you guys, have a good night, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care and stay humble. Peace.